Flow state is often described as a superpower for productivity. The final level of sharp laser focus where you can achieve anything, you can focus and build, and you're so enveloped in your craft. Learning how to channel the flow state will change your life. The problem is most people just don't understand the fundamentals and they experience three things. Number one, they either enter the state on accident and they don't know how to get back. They don't know how to channel flow state for when they really need it. Number two is you don't tap into that deep level of flow. You're just floating on the surface. And number three is you never even experience anything remotely close to being in the flow. You never really experience the full bliss that deep flow state has to offer. You see, the flow state is what allows me to record 4 long-form videos per week, 7 reels a week, manage a community of 180 members, and write 2 newsletter articles every single week while working on my physique, while doing the things that I have to do, reading, doing the habits. And I just have so much to manage that it wouldn't be possible without tapping into and learning how to channel the flow state. And I've been doing this for 6 months, and ever since I started, my life has completely changed. Now, the first point I'm going to share with you is actually immersion. And immersion starts here. It is being fully enveloped and fully focused and fully one with the thing that you're doing. So right now you're watching this video. Don't have your phone next to you. Don't look at the recommended. Just put this video on full screen, practice full immersion, and just focus on this one single thing. That is step 1 of channeling deep flow state. Now let's get into part number 1, the deep flow. By the way, I know a lot of you have been thinking about joining our community, Discipline OS, which has helped so many people change their habits, change their lives and their identity, and become the version that they want to be. So lucky for you, we've decided to open up a 7-day free trial for the next 15 members. I'll talk more about that later. Let's go. So let's talk about deep flow. Last week I was meditating and I reached a certain point while meditating. Basically, I wake up, I read, and then I meditate. I read for about an hour, I meditate for 30 minutes. And what I actually experienced while meditating was a state of full bliss. I got into this state where I just didn't want to leave the meditation. I was so focused and I was in this flow state that everything else, time, my worries, my thoughts, everything else just dissolved. I was super focused, super present, and I was so in love with the present moment and where I was. And now this exact state is actually achievable while working. And I'm not talking about the basic flow state because I already made a video about that, but I'm talking about the advanced systems to really tap into the deepest level of your brain so you can command focus, so that doing the deep work, focusing, doing the work you have to do feels easy. Because I know you've been there. You've had that time where you just sit down to work and it's the middle of the day and like you put on your headphones, maybe you listen to some music, and all of a sudden time flies. You're so focused. You're just like creatively flowing through your work, and then hours pass by, and when you stop working, it's already dark. And for some reason, it just feels so good to be in that flow state. You just feel so productive. You feel so fulfilled. Now that is what we want to replicate. That is where we want to go again. You see, if you want to build success, if you want to scale your business, if you want to get good grades, if you want to become a professional athlete, whatever you want to do, if you want to chase your dream, you are going to need focus, right? Without focus, you cannot build anything. So you're going to need focus, and focus is derived from the flow state. The truest and highest form of focus, which is required to build the success of your dreams, to build your dream life, it comes from flow state. I want you to think of flow state in levels, right? There's level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 being the absolute most focused and like locked in version of yourself. You probably know what that feels like. And level 1 is just like, your mind is wandering. Now, right now, I want you to take a look at your internal state and just ask yourself, which level am I currently sitting at? You could be like super level 5, like I'm listening to everything this guy is saying and I'm just so focused and I'm like taking notes and really like my mind is here. Or you could be level 1, you're watching this video while scrolling something else, while like somewhere else, and your mind is thinking about what you had for lunch yesterday. So first identify the level, and then from there you want to judge like how fast and how easy can you enter the flow state. There are some people who enter the flow state in like this, and there are some people who just take a long time. But in general, on a general scale, it takes about 15 minutes of like you sitting down at your desk, doing one single task with no distractions for your brainwaves to switch state. Now, the reason and the science behind flow state is just that your brain waves, they start to switch. You go from normal consciousness, which is beta brainwaves, to alpha and then gamma brainwaves, which are slower brainwaves, more controlled brainwaves, which are responsible for being more relaxed, more calm, more grounded, and more focused. Now, I'm not a doctor, so do your own research, but that is what I've learned. So comment flow down below if you have reached any type of flow state, if you know that feeling of just, hours pass by like this, time flies, time dissolves, and you're just so focused. Now, if you continue to watch till the end of this video, then you will have experienced the flow that only top 1% of people actually reach. Part 2, making a decision. Now, in my last flow video, I actually talked about how much your environment, how important your environment is to actually help you get into the flow state. So things like having a ritual, having repeatability, having a common environment, a clean environment, an environment that is void of distractions. And while all of this is very and fundamentally true, since then my perspective has shifted a bit. I made that video months ago, and now on top of all that, I really believe that flowing, getting into the flow state, it is about choosing to flow. It is about seeing yourself like water. Like the quote from Bruce Lee, empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water. Now, if you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Put it into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow, drip, or crash. Be water, my friend. So I want you to practice relaxing your body, and just like wherever you're sitting, if you're watching this video from your bed or from like your office, from a chair, just relax your body and mind to the point where you reach stillness. The point where you can hear your heartbeat, where you can feel your skin, you can feel your clothes. The point where you can just feel everything. And at this point, just choose to be. Don't think about anything. Don't look for anything. Don't want or desire anything. You are just free. You are formless. This is the level of stillness you practice when you do meditation. And that's why I advocate to meditate, because a long time ago, I didn't actually meditate. I only started meditating last year. Meditating was actually the last habit I implemented into my self-improvement stack. And that's why I talk about it, because I was pushing off for so long. But when I started to, my life changed. So don't let your external environment actually cloud your focus. You're going to want to just relax, reach a level of stillness, and just allow everything else, time, your thoughts, your awareness, everything to just fall into the background. So the moment you can practice reaching stillness within, flow state becomes easy. Because what flow state really is whenever you're doing a task, it is the ability to let your thoughts, to let your worries, to let the past, the future, to let everything, the distractions, just dissolve so that you can focus on the thing in front of you. It is like being in a dark tunnel and you just see one thing. Everything is dark, but you just see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you walk towards it. It is the same thing with flow state. You just have to see the light in front of you, the next steps. You don't have to see anything else. So thank you everybody for 100,000 subscribers. This has been so amazing. So I'm gonna double down, be making more content, be posting more, making better videos, and just continuing to grind and just work on my dream. Now, if you're enjoying the videos like these, then subscribe to the channel, and let's go to part number 3, where we lost ourselves. Now, everything we talked about the flow state, it sounds amazing, right? But what if I told you that is actually our natural state as human beings? But we have learned to be so distracted. We have picked up so many bad habits over the years that we just shifted away from our natural state. The natural human state is actually focus. It is actually calm. It is actually success, peace, and abundance, and everything that you need. But because of the rise of technology, the rise of distractions, of social media, and all the things that are just like there to distract you, it has become harder than ever to focus. Harder than ever to reach that flow state that you know is going to get you to that success that you want. Because if you can't focus on a video like this, then these are just signals and cues that your dopamine is not in the right place. If you can't focus on a 5-minute video, then how can you focus on hours of deep work? So everything from media to parents to environment to schools to limiting beliefs to shallow breathing to not enough exercise and a wrong lifestyle. All of these things have made it so hard to focus and enter the flow state, even though those should be normal and easy. So the goal is to make this state permanent again. It's to make flow state not just something that happens every now and then, but something that happens every single day, multiple times a day. So this is the life project that I've been working on for more than a month now. And the pillars of this are the following. Number 1 is breathing. So you want to do deep belly breathing, right? You want to breathe very, very deeply and be aware of your breath, and like just visualize this like bar, right? This power bar. Every time you take a deep breath in, you visualize the power bar filling up. Every time you exhale, you visualize it going down. And just being visual about your breath and focusing on your breath, it's just gonna help you and help your brainwave shift state, and it's gonna help you focus. Because the truth is, a lot of the times, if you don't focus on your breathing, if you don't like intentionally breathe, you're gonna breathe so shallow. I notice with myself, like if I don't intentionally breathe like very deeply, I'm gonna breathe so shallow that it's no surprise that I can't focus. So second pillar is believing. So you need to first believe that it is possible and it is easy to reach this level of bliss, this level of permanent focus, with no downsides, no stress, no doubts, and no worrying. And the third pillar is presence. So the only time you can enter a flow state and focus is if you are present. The moment you are not present means that distractions are there. And if distractions are there, then you cannot focus. Distractions and focus cannot coexist. You either have one or the other, never both at the same time. So you're either in a state of focus, which means there are no distractions, or you are distracted, which means you can't focus. So the third pillar, presence, is about feeling aware, is about being more aware, being present, not needing, letting go of desire, detaching yourself from expectations and opinions and this and this and this. And it's just about moving slower and doing and being yourself. And the way you practice this third pillar, and all of them as well, is meditating. And also stop watching short form content, just watch long form videos and focus on them, do nothing else. Do the basic habits like reading, practices your attention span and flow state, journaling, meditating, running, exercising. Practice focusing on one thing at a single time. Put on some music if you like. It definitely helps get into the flow state. A lot of people would recommend lo-fi beats or the beats that are made for like binaural beats or beats that are made to help you focus. But honestly, I think you should listen to your favorite music because that dopamine spike you get is gonna help you focus. Also, spending time in silence, spending 10 to 15 minutes every single day where you do nothing and you just sit by yourself, that is gonna help you focus. Not opening your phone first thing in the morning for the first 3 hours of the morning is gonna change your life. Eating more healthy, avoiding processed foods, sleeping enough, at least 9 hours. That is what I do and it's been helping me so much. And this is how we're supposed to be as humans, we just lost touch. Now, if you wanna reclaim that along with your focus, along with your habits and your identity, and you just wanna be that disciplined person who can execute on anything, you need to understand that success and making money and being confident and attracting the love of your life, these are things that aren't going to come if you are not disciplined. I tried everything with making money, with business, with YouTube, and I didn't see any results until I focused on the foundation. Until I focused on the basic habits and building the discipline, was I able to reach all of those heights and all of those goals that I set for myself. Now, if you want to do the same, then you're going to need that discipline and accountability, which is what we offer inside Discipline OS. Now, we have a 7-day free trial that is open for the next 15 members. Now click the link in the description below if you want to change your life. And remember, a bad workout always beats a skipped one. Take care and you got this.